In our previous video, we talked about the effect of the feedback system on sensitivity, and we talk about how the denominator of the overall transfer function plays an important role in determining the stability of a system. And we look at how the denominator, when it is greater than 1, what will happen to the transfer function, and if it is less than 1. And we said that when it is less than 1, the transfer function will increase, and if it is greater than 1, the transfer function will decrease. In this video, we are going to look at, secondly, the effect of the feedback on the stability of the system. So what do we mean by stability? In a system, when we say that a system is stable, then it means that the output, which is the response of the system, is under control. That means we can manage the output of the system. However, if we cannot manage the output of the system is said to be unstable. And from there we can say otherwise, the system is unstable. Most system requires a stable response. That means if we are to have a system that is stable at the output, we have the system and we have the output. Then in most cases we consider this response to be stable. And when the output is stable, we know that this system itself is stable. Otherwise, it is unstable. In our previous example, where we talk about Tn equals to g of s over 1 plus g of s h of s. So what will happen if the value of the denominator is 0? If the denominator is 0, then we have g of s equals to 0. Then this control system, the output, we can say the response is infinity. It will approach infinity. So it will make the system become unstable. Therefore, in this case, we have to choose the feedback properly so that it will minimize the effect of the unstable in a system. So by properly choosing the feedback, we can make the overall control system become stable. So this h of s is important in determining the stability of a system. And it is true from the equation that the controller will always operate based on the reference signal plus the feedback, because the input of the controller is nothing but the error signal. And we said that the E of s equals to R of s minus the h of s. So by carefully selecting this parameter, we can produce a signal that will now act as an input to the controller. So the controller will now produce a corrective measure to correct this error. If the h of s or the feedback is not correctly fed to the controller to produce the error signal, then we can say that this system will be unstable, because of this parameter here will cause the error signal to be off guard, which will now give an incorrect information to the controller, which will now make the response to be unstable. So I believe by continuing explaining the importance of a transfer function in a system to make a system more stable becomes more crucial. And since most of our discussion is just looking at the input and the output without a noise, now thirdly, if we want to introduce a noise, we can now discuss the effect of the feedback on the noise. So what is actually a noise? We can describe a noise as an unwanted signal that is introduced to a system, and in most cases the noise is not needed in a system. And we can also say that the noise will cause a system to be unstable. In most of the case, we want to eliminate the noise. So how can we eliminate the noise? To eliminate the noise, we need a controller and a feedback. As we have mentioned previously, we have h of s which represent the feedback. So by properly selecting a feedback to a system will produce an error signal, and now this error signal will be act as an input to a controller, and this controller will try its best to eliminate the noise in the system. Now let us look at the open loop control system with noise. That physically means that we are now adding noise signal to the previous open loop system. And we know that the open loop system, we have R of S, and we have the controller, let's say G1 of S, and we have the plant, can be represented as G2 of S, and we have the response, which is the C of S. This system shows no noise. Now if we want to add a system with a noise, we now can have R of S, then G1 of S, which is a controller, and we have a comparator or the summation block, and we have G2 of S, which is the actuator or the plant, and we have the C of S. Now we are adding another signal known as the N of S, which is the noise. So we can see that this is the open loop control system with added noise. Now the open loop transfer function is C of S over N of S, which is equivalent to G2 of S. And now this is our open loop transfer function with noise. With the summation, where we have the N of S, which is the input, and the output is the C of S. And we can have the plus sign and the plus sign here, which represent the input signal. And this equation is obtained by making R of S is equivalent to 0. When this portion is equals to 0, we can say if R of S dot G1 of S is equals to a signal, let's say M of S. When this R of S is equals to 0, then M of S is equals to 0. So we can say this is M of S. And in order to find the response of the open loop, we simply substitute 0 to R of S. That is how we got this equation here. Otherwise, we will have two input where we have C of S equals to the input will be M of S plus N of S is now equals to G2 of S. So when M of S is equals to 0, we now left with C of S over the N of S. Now we can determine the closed loop transfer function with added noise and how we can derive the transfer function of this type of control system with noise. Similar to the open loop, we can now draw the block diagram R of S to a comparator to G1 of S, and we can have another comparator and we have G2 of S, and we have the output which is C of S, and we have the N of S which is the noise, and we have H of S which is our feedback to the comparator, and we have noise added to the control signal. And we previously said that we have this portion or the signal output of the control is known as the M of S, and we can say M of S is now our control signal, and we have the N of S which is now the noise signal. And since we are mostly considering a negative feedback control system, by setting R of S is equals to 0, we now have the transfer function which can be C of S over N of S is now equivalent to G2 of S over 1 plus G1 of S, G2 of S, and the H of S. And this is now our closed loop transfer function with added noise to the system. And we can see that the response of the system, which is equals to C of S, is now equals to N of S dot G of S on 1 plus G1 of S, G2 of S, and the H of S. In this scenario, we know that this system, as what we have previously described, is a closed loop system, and it is a having negative feedback. And now we can see that the response, like in our previous video, we know that the R of S, which is the desired input, is compared against the transfer function. However, in this case, we can see that the noise is now a product of the transfer function itself. So we want to make sure that we eliminate this signal which is added to the overall transfer function of a closed loop system. And this noise will now be able to add instability into the system, and which is not healthy for a system. So we want to make it stable. So how can we make it stable in that case? It can be seen that the gain due to the noise signal is decreased by the factor of 1 plus G1 of S, G2 of S, and the H of S. And we say that provided that the term 1 plus g1 of s, g2 of s, and the h of s is now greater than 1. So what does this statement means? So when we look at why the denominator should be greater than 1, so when we look at C of s, which is the response, equals to the noise multiplied by G2 of s, which is the noise plus the length, divided by the denominator, which is less than 1. That means this value will increase. That means the response will increase because this noise is multiplied by the length gain. So it means that this system will go to becoming unstable. Therefore, it must be C of s is equals to n of s dot g2 of s, where the value of the denominator must be greater than 1. When the value is greater than 1, it can eliminate the magnitude of the noise. So we can have the output which correspond to the input and the output of the actuator itself. That means eliminating the noise with respect to G2 of s, we have the C of s and we have the M of s as an input signal from the controller. That is why when this portion of the denominator is greater than 1, it can eliminate the noise signal. So we have the response which correspond to only this gain of the actuator. And this discussion is based on the type of model, because most control system can be represented by a set of mathematical equation known as the mathematical model. And this discussion is based on the transfer function model. And we also have differential equation model. And thirdly, we can represent a control system with a state space model. Because in a state space model, we are considering only the variable that is mostly changing, or a second component that normally have a varying parameters, and we normally represent using a state variables. In our future discussion, we will come across state space equation that represent the modeling in state space, and we have the differential equation model and the transfer function model. And the design of the control system means that finding the right mathematical model, that means the transfer function model, differential equation model, or state space model, when we know the input of the system, which is the R of s, and the output of the system. So by knowing input and the output, we can now correctly model a system, and even though there is a noise, we can eliminate the noise by using the controller. Thank you for watching our video. Kindly subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends so they can also be able to learn.